Dune, directed by Denis Villeneuve, is one of the biggest Hollywood releases of 2021. But is it worth your money? Right now, Dune is available to watch in theaters and to stream via HBO Max, but either way, that is going to cost you. And there are a few ways of knowing whether or not Dune will be worth it for you. First of all, some background. It's important to note that this is not just Dune, but Dune Part 1. Part 2 has officially been greenlit and should release in about 2 years from now in 2023, but who knows. Part 2 could be the equivalent of the last season of Game of Thrones and completely undo all the goodwill built by fans. The good news is, the director, Villeneuve, is set to return for the sequel, so that's probably a good indicator of quality continuity. In terms of story, Dune is a sci-fi tale through and through, so if you're not into science fiction space operas with a solid mix of both action and political dynamics, you may not want to take out your wallet for Dune. But I will say, even if you don't like sci-fi, Dune, the book the movie is based off of, is considered one of the very best sci-fi books ever written, and won the very first Nebula Award, which is given to the best science fiction and fantasy books, for Best Novel back in 1966. And in terms of the director of the film, Denis Villeneuve is considered one of the very best directors in the science fiction genre, having completed projects like Arrival from 2016 and Blade Runner 2049 from 2017. All of his movies are known for being visually stunning, with some of the best cinematography you'll see in any modern movie, and Dune is no different. With that out of the way, here's a gist of what the story's about. Dune is about a young boy named Paul Atreides, the son of a duke, who lives on a beautiful oceanic planet with his mother and father. But the emperor of this universe summons his family to become the rulers of a desert planet known as Arrakis, which is home to the only known source of what is called spice, a substance that makes interstellar travel possible. The issue is, the people who live on Arrakis, known as the Freemen, rely on this spice on a spiritual level, to extend their lives and help them live on the desolate, bleak desert planet. Complicating matters further, Paul and his family, House Atreides, are replacing a different house, House Harkonnen, which previously ruled the planet Arrakis with an iron fist, taking all the spice, killing natives in the process, and selling the spice for enormous profits, becoming one of the wealthiest nations in the galaxy. House Harkonnen is not too happy to give up rule of Arrakis to House Atreides. Without going any further, that is how the chess pieces are all set up in Dune. Okay, so back to whether this movie is worth your money. There are a few ways to rule this one out for you. Don't bother with Dune if you don't like sci-fi. If the ideas of alien planets and alien races turns you off, including all the extravagant set pieces and wild costumes and makeup that comes with the territory, Dune isn't for you. You can totally move on. Also, don't bother with Dune if you don't like long movies. Dune Part 1 is 2.5 hours long. In a theater, this can feel like a very long time. I personally streamed it from home, and we took a handful of breaks to go to the bathroom, check our phones, etc. But if you're not a fan of long, epic stories, think Lord of the Rings, then you may not like Dune, especially since this is only Part 1 of a much larger story. That said, I think those are the only two major reasons a person might not like Dune. If you are a fan of stunning, beautiful-looking movies where every shot could be a painting, Dune is for you. If you like epic tales, stories that help you escape the monotony of everyday life, Dune is for you. If you enjoy watching the work of some of the best actors we have today, including Oscar Isaac, Josh Brolin, Stellan Skarsgård, Javier Bardem, and of course Timothée Chalamet and Rebecca Ferguson at the center of it all, then Dune is worth the price of admission. To me, it's easily one of the most creative films to come along in a long time, and it gives you plenty of entertainment value for that 2.5 hour runtime. I hope this was somewhat helpful. I do think Dune is an excellent popcorn flick for most people, but not for everyone for some of the reasons I've already outlined. But that's just my take. Now I'd love to hear from you in the comments section. If you saw Dune, what did you think? And if you aren't interested in Dune, I'd love to hear that too. Of course, if you like this video, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Your support really does mean everything. Thanks so much for watching the download. Until next time.